Again, the recommendation of this 2001 task force: only one voting system currently meets all the necessary standards. That's a quote right out of this document. The state certified mark sense or optical scan voting system. The documentation was available for the Florida legislature if they wanted to read it. The documentation that if we went with touchscreens we would have problems with undervoting was present if the legislature would have read it. So we're here today because of the failure of that body to in fact implement what a bipartisan, that includes Republicans, including the former Secretary of State Jim Smith, recommended: optical scan voting systems, paper ballots. And that's why the state has a responsibility to pay to clean up its own mess. I would like to say that Governor Christ has responded in a way that I've never seen the executive branch respond to this issue since I've been a commissioner. His proposal to replace the touchscreens with optical scanners, as Bill has pointed out, is tremendous. We've got to do that. And that's what I would call the good part of the bill. And he's already mentioned the bad part of the bill. Yes, we're going to have audits, but they will be after the election is certified. Do you know Florida law says that if you certify the election and you get different totals, you may not change those totals. So the certification nullifies the auditing provisions in the governor's bill. What is that but simply window dressing? Oh, we better put in auditing to quiet those citizens who really want to make sure their votes count. Let's put in auditing, yeah. Well, we'll put it in after the certification so it's meaningless. Well, meaningless audits are worse than no audits at all because they would give the illusion that something is actually done benefiting the citizens. Audits, and you've heard them from several of the speakers here, and the league's position is clear as a bell. You've got to have mandatory, random audits of those paper ballots, because as we showed in the documentary Hacking Democracy, you can take paper ballots, put it through a software of a computer, and you may not end up with the candidate that you voted for. So without auditing, even the best technology can not ensure that your vote will count. Let's put the pressure, not on the governor, I think he's done a good faith effort, but on the legislature and particularly the House of Representatives of the state of Florida, which has scheduled no hearings on even the governor's own proposal. Whereas in the Senate, we've had 2 public meetings, open to anybody who has appeared. And a number of you who have in the audience actually have spoken at those meetings. Where is the Florida House of Representatives? Speaker Rubio, you had 100 ideas that you said were important. I only have 1. Do your job instead of playing politics with the people's right to vote. Thank you very much.
I consider him the greatest nonpartisan in the state and probably in the country. He's a great man, an example to all nonpartisans. I would just like to also mention a little bit of history here. I'm the state representative for verified voting, and the VVPB movement, that's the voter verified paper ballot movement, has its origins in the governor's task force. The moment I read that document, I knew the way to end this was by fulfilling the dreams of the supervisors of elections in this state. And Governor Chris, I know you're listening. But listen to the supervisors. We've had a disastrous Secretary of States, one after another, since Catherine Harris. Kurt, if you're listening, you gotta fix the problems they started. Listen, it's time for John Russell. He's been my friend for years. He joined verified voting a long time ago for his campaign in 2004. And right now he has a court case, and he's, we got to get behind him and all these candidates that keep fighting. Clint's out there. We got to keep fighting because it's not over. Come on, John.
Thank you very much. Let's thank Bill Faulkner and Wayne Wiggins for putting this event together today. This is a very important day in moving towards a verifiable, trustworthy voting system. In 2006, I ran for Congress based on principle. You people are here in support of principle today. This week we entered the 5th